The diesel is dead and hybrid is the new dawn. And of course, it's hard to argue with Mercedes when they tell us that the GLE500e can do 75 miles per gallon, 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds, emits low carbon dioxide, and emits absolutely no noxious diesel particulates to pollute the air that we breathe. So this got me interested enough to take a look at this GLE500e. Could this really be the groundbreaking car the German brand says it is? A car they say paves the way to the future. Parked here on my drive, this vehicle is impressive with its bold shape. It has modern design touches and plenty of modern tech, like this LED lighting which goes all round. It comes with a classy image and modern style. See how the headlights flow back into the wings, while the large radiator grille and Mercedes logo dominate the front end design. This is very definitely looking so far so good, Mercedes. Inside, it's a case of sitting back and relaxing above it all, feeling elevated above those lesser cars around you, being quietly cosseted by sumptuous comfort in this impressively appointed cockpit. The GLE's interior has large swathes of expensive looking trim and heavily cowled dials that would look perfectly at home in an expensive sports car. Its beguiling dashboard dominated by a large infotainment screen atop a familiar Mercedes-Benz center console. All models get a deep plush leather seats and are among the best and most comfortable around, while the infotainment system is refreshingly easy to master and helped by intuitive central rotary dial and this clever touchpad which you can write on with your finger. The GLE's vast dimensions mean interior space is never going to be a problem. There's enough legroom in the rear for 3 tall men, should you happen to know any that need transporting, meaning longer laden up journeys are easy. And this 500e plug-in hybrid is trick. It combines its electric motor with the petrol engine for impressive range and extremely low emissions. You can drive it in pure electric mode, useful in the city, or in a low emission zone, or use the petrol engine alone for those longer journeys. The most effective way to juice up the batteries is to plug the 500e into a conveniently located public charging station, or if there isn't one, which there probably won't be, then simply connecting the Mercedes charging kit into a regular domestic socket outlet will do the trick. Just plug it in, leave it feeding off your house for 4 hours, and you're then good to silently waft away for 20 zero emission, almost soundless miles. Okay, so what's the Mercedes GLE 500e hybrid like as a driver? Well, a combined total power output of 434 brake horsepower plus an addictive boost of instant electric motor torque makes relatively light work of that 2.5 ton car in a straight line. 0 to 60 takes just 5.3 seconds, which incidentally is nearly half a second faster than a Civic Type R. But that weight doesn't do any favours when it comes to cornering or agility. Still, considering this and the high centre of gravity, the combination of standard fit adaptive dampers and self-levelling air suspension keeps the handling neat and tidy. It's hardly thrilling to drive, but nor is it a demanding thing to hustle along. Whisk the GLE through a series of bends, and while body rolls largely kept under control, it doesn't feel particularly wieldy in the way a Ranger of a Sport or a Cayenne defy those laws of physics. It's much happier when driven along smoothly. But don't forget there's that 4matic suspension. Even that very name invokes thoughts of cosseting comfort. And this turns out to be the Mercedes GLE Forte. As well as altering the ride height automatically at speed or manually to raise the car over less forgiving terrain, you can firm it up. Firming it up doesn't make it feel any more sporty. Instead, you're more aware that road imperfections haven't been ironed out as thoroughly as normal. My advice, leave the suspension in comfort, cruise along, and like I say, sit back and relax above all those lesser cars around you. Off-road or in rain, ice or snow, 4matic all-wheel drive boosts traction and drivability stability in conjunction with the electronic traction system, which they call 4ETS. And 4matic does it without recourse to conventional diff locks. It means when a wheel has insufficient grip, it is braked in a targeted manner and the drive torque is transferred to the wheels that do have sufficient traction. With these rapid automatic braking impulses, this is as good as having 3 differential locks. And let's not forget the main event, which is this hybrid system. It gives us 4 hybrid system modes. Hybrid is the default setting, giving 114 brake horsepower electric motor to boost that bi-turbo 3-litre petrol V6 engine. The pure electric E-mode deactivates the dinosaur oven altogether and can give you a clean air electric range of up to 20 miles and can comfortably achieve electric only speed 70 miles per hour. It's perfectly possible. Switching between the 4 hybrid functions is seamless, though you can notice the slightly gruff sounding engine coming in. The Mercedes 7-speed automatic gearbox never was and still isn't the smoothest or snappiest around, but it serves this purpose well. So do we buy the GLE hybrid or a GLE diesel? Well, with a little bit of proactive energy regeneration via the brakes and some plugging in, that electric capability will go a fair way, but I doubt many will ever see the claimed 75 mpg, unless maybe if you've got a shortish commute and the option to charge the thing up at both ends. If the current sport of diesel bashing continues, then petrol cars are all going to have to be hybrid to stand any chance of bettering an oil burner's MPG and CO2 performance. I should point out that while this plug-in hybrid is good for electric range, it's also bad for boot space, as the need to find storage for the battery pack means the floor of the luggage compartment is higher than the lip and the available volume drops from 690 litres to just 480 litres. If you have a dog, then it's going to need to jump a fair bit to get in. The GLE is around £9,000 more expensive than the GLE500e and at least £13,000 more than the entry-level GLE250d. But the hybrid is faster, comes in at a lower tax rate and functions as a viable EV for useful periods. So it has appeal as a company car driver. Company car drivers who want to save on paying income tax. But as an everyday real-world proposition tasked with carrying out a variety of journey types and distances, that will see the hybrid system turn into an inescapable added weight. Presently, diesel still makes more sense, nasty NOx emissions aside. So if you really wanted a plug-in hybrid SUV from Mercedes, well, here it is, and it works just fine. But the new GLE doesn't quite match its rivals from the driving seat, and more importantly, some elements of the interior really don't quite seem premium enough for a car of this type. So you're still sitting on the fence? Well, maybe have a look at what Porsche has to offer with this new Cayenne hybrid instead, or maybe look at the Volvo XC90 twin engine. But if you're hooked on the Mercedes brand, and let's face it, there's an awful lot of people who are, they make cosseting, beautiful cars after all. And if you want to stay ahead of those upcoming EV regulations, well, then you can do an awful lot worse than going down to your nearest Mercedes-Benz dealer and asking to see the Mercedes-Benz GLE500e. Oh, and just one more thing. If you've got this far, well, thank you. If you've liked what you've seen, feel free to click that red subscribe button, click that little bell, and I'll let you know when I post more car stuff. If you don't have a YouTube account, then no worries, and thanks again for watching. Cheers.